Alright, so coming out this weekend, we have The Fate of the Furious, the 8th movie in the Fast and Furious series. And there's no time to get to reviewing all these movies, and quite frankly, I don't really want to review all these movies. But when Fast and Furious 6 came out, I did review that movie. And then when Furious 7 came out, I wasn't really making YouTube videos, but the 8th one's coming out, and I was thinking it'd be kind of weird if I had a review for 6 and 8 and not 7. So here's Furious 7, about 2 years too late. Alright, so Furious 7 obviously is the 7th movie in the Fast and Furious series. In this movie, Justin Lin, the director of the last 4 movies, left the franchise, and now we have James Wan, the guy that did the Conjuring movies. He produced Lights Out, and this movie essentially picks up right where the 6th one left off. The crew helped The Rock take out Luke Evans, and now they have pardons for all of their crimes. They're living back in LA, having a good life. And then all of a sudden, Luke Evans' brother named Deckard Shaw, he's played by Jason Statham, he's out for revenge against Toretto and his family. Because you can't turn your back on family. Family! Then we have cool car chases and cars flying out of buildings and cars smashing into other cars. Now a quick recap of what I think about the Fast and Furious movies. The first 4 movies, I think they're really boring. My favorite out of those original 3 is actually Tokyo Drift. The first one's probably the best made movie, but it's just a ripoff of Point Break, so now whenever I watch that movie, I just think Point Break, and why won't I just watch Point Break? Why would I watch this dumb ripoff of it? Second one I thought was boring. Fourth one I thought was boring. Third one was interesting enough. They switched it to Tokyo. I thought that was cool. It still has the same terrible acting as all the other movies, but it's my favorite out of the ones that I consider the bad ones. Then you get to Fast 5, a movie that I really liked. It introduced The Rock into the franchise. I thought they found a good blend of the grounded approach of the first couple movies with kind of the ridiculousness that we get into with these newer movies. And it also brought back a bunch of other main players of the franchise. It's almost like the Avengers of Fast and Furious. You have the main people, like you had Vin Diesel, Paul Walker, Jordana Brewster. But then it's like, you know, you bring in that one guy from the first movie, you bring back Tyrese and Ludacris from the second movie, you bring back Han Solo. His name is Han Solo. I'm not making that up. But anyways, they bring him back from Tokyo Drift. So then you kind of feel like they didn't waste your time with those movies. Fast 6, when I first saw it, I was really positive on that movie, and I'm still really positive on that movie. I think it's awesome. It was one of my favorite movies of that year, to be honest. It's just one of the best popcorn movies I've seen in a long time. Is it cheesy? Yeah. Does it defy the laws of physics? Yeah. Is it a sweet, action-packed, fun summer movie? Yeah, it is. So now we enter Furious 7. While I don't like this movie as much as 6, I do still enjoy it. It's got the same style and that really over-the-top, nonsensical style of action. The action in the movie is nothing to write home about. It's the same stuff you've seen in the other movies. Vin Diesel's okay, Paul Walker's okay, The Rock is okay, and he does feel very tacked on in this movie. If you guys don't know, in this movie, there's a fight with Statham and The Rock earlier in the movie. The Rock gets put in the hospital, and he was actually supposed to be out of the movie for the rest of it, but because they delayed the production of this movie, he was able to be in it. He was filming Hercules at the time. That was why he wasn't going to be in this movie. But when production got delayed, he was able to be rewritten back into the movie, and it does feel tacked on, but I mean, it's The Rock, so I'm kind of okay with it. This was the guy that saved the franchise, so if you do have the opportunity, yeah, put him in this movie. Now, going into the special effects of this movie, for the majority of the movie, it looks pretty good. Yeah, it defies the laws of physics, of course, when Brian and Dom are flying that car between the 2 towers. Part of me wants to watch that and be like, that's just not possible. But then another part of me is watching this and I'm like, yeah, but did it look cool? And I'm just like, well, yeah, I guess it did look cool. That's one thing I'll say I like about these Fast movies, way more than I like about the Transformers movies, is that Fast and Furious knows what it is. It knows it's a 2-hour popcorn flick with ridiculous over-the-top stunts, fast cars, great one-liners, cool fight scenes. If the Transformers movies were about the length of the Fast and Furious movies, I might enjoy them a little bit more. But it's the fact that Michael Bay tries to make like these 3-hour epics that make those movies so terrible, which does make me nervous because the supposed runtime for The Fate of the Furious is about 2 hours and 40 minutes, and I feel like we're gonna start heading into that Transformers route. But for this movie, it was still able to hold my attention for about the entire movie. Now, it is hard to talk about this movie without mentioning a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff that happened. Going on YouTube, I don't really have a lot of regrets. One regret I do kind of have doing, though, is while they were making this movie, Paul Walker, one of the main characters, he did die in a car accident, and I made a video on it, and I was talking about, like, oh, the future of the franchise. And I don't really hate that video itself, I just think it was kind of poor timing. But yeah, it is sad what happened to him, and I felt really bad for everybody else in the franchise. They used CG, and they used his brothers as stand-ins in order to complete his scenes. And the CG on him, I think, looks really good. There's a couple scenes where I can notice it, but it is in those scenes when you can kind of tell they are just using a stand-in or they're using CGI. Like the far away shots is really where you notice it. But because that happened, the budget of this movie got stretched really thin, and I feel like in some parts of this movie, it looked a little too polished and a little too neat. I feel like it didn't really have the grit that 5 and 6 had. Not that 5 and 6 are the most gritty movies in the whole world, but I just felt like it felt a little more raw in those movies, you know what I mean? And some of the stunts in this movie, I did kind of have like a been there, done that kind of feel. I felt like I'd seen a lot of the big over-the-top stuff in the 6th one, so that is why I would prefer the 6th one to the 7th one. Of the 3 Fast and Furious movies that I consider the good movies, which are 5, 6, and 7, this is my least favorite, but I did still really enjoy the movie. It's one of those movies you kind of know what you're getting when you go into it. You know you're gonna get bad acting, you know you're gonna get cheesy dialogue, but you also know you're gonna get some cool stunts, some cool fight scenes, and despite the acting, I do feel like everybody in this movie is giving it their all. So Furious 7 is a fun action movie. It does introduce some cool characters into the Fast and Furious lore, like Kurt Russell, like Jason Statham. It also gets surprisingly emotional at the end. There is a good tribute to Paul Walker at the very end of this movie. I do feel like the franchise should have ended here. It's not going to, because they're going to, what, like 10 movies? And if this was the final Fast and Furious, I might like it a little bit more. But as it stands, it's a fun movie. Check it out if you haven't seen it. But if you have seen Furious 7, let me know what you think of it down in the comments. And quick side note, while you guys are watching this video, I'm actually out of the country with no internet. I get back on Saturday, so a review for the Fate of the Furious might be a little while. And yeah, most of my movie reviews do take about half a week to get out there. But that also means that the trailer for Star Wars The Last Jedi, which I'm assuming is dropping on Friday at Star Wars Celebration. I don't have any confirmation from that, but I would be really surprised if it didn't drop. I'm not going to be able to see that till I get back on Saturday. I know, it's going to kill me. But that trailer review will also be a little delayed, so sorry about that, but I'll get those videos out as soon as I can. But anyways, thank you for watching this video. If you guys liked it, you can click subscribe and check out some of my other videos, and I'll catch you guys next time. And don't forget, family!